1 in 3. That's how many American men will face physical violence, sexual assault, or stalking by an intimate partner. 1 in 3 women worldwide will endure physical or sexual abuse, most often by someone they know. But domestic abuse isn't just bruises. It's manipulation, it's fear, it's control that seeps into every part of your life. I'm Ingrid Dutton, and I survived it. Then I created 1 in 3 so no one else has to suffer in silence. Each week, we break that silence together. Occasionally joined by survivors, loved ones, and experts, we talk about the pain, yes, but also about the healing, resilience, and the fight to reclaim your life. This podcast is more than awareness, it's a lifeline. And a reminder, you are seen, you are heard, you are never alone. Search for 1 in 3 wherever you get your podcasts, because every voice matters and every story deserves to be heard.
I'm learning from everyone in front of me. I'm watching everyone in front of me, their every move. I'm young and just being a sponge right now, coming out here every day, just trying to win the day.
Good morning.
Good morning, sister.
How are you doing?
I'm doing okay. Medicated.
Well, why don't you explain now why you're medicated and what happened?
Sure. One of my ligaments in my ankle, I have chronic ankle sprains. So they were going to go put in like a artificial ligament in my ankle. So I went to go get the surgery on Wednesday. The bottom one, the screw attached and stayed in my bone. The top one, the first screw didn't stay. And so he drilled another hole in my bone and that one didn't stay either. So my ankle is actually more unstable than it was before I went in for surgery. My ligament is not attached and I have a hole about the size of a quarter in my bone from the 2 drill spots. So in about 8 weeks, I'm going to have to go back in and get my ligaments reattached. And in the meantime, I am wearing a boot and I have crutches and a knee scooter and pain medication.
And a Stubens, which is what we call our dad.
And a Stubens. He's been super helpful. Yeah. So that's what's happening. I don't know when, I guess 8 weeks from now, I don't know. I have to keep going in for like 2-week checkups so you can just see how everything's healing and so you can go back in and fix it. So it was a pretty routine surgery and my surgeon said that this is the first time he's ever had this happen. So he's also going to do a bone density test on me because my vitamin D and my calcium on my labs were within normal limits. So he's not quite sure why the screw didn't stick.
Speaking of surgeries, I just want to quickly give 2 updates. One, Hetty Vincent, who was on with us last summer, needs prayers. She had a follow-up MRI to look at her glioblastoma tumor, and it looks like the plan is going to resume radiation and go from there. So let's send positive vibes and prayers her way. This is the season. Did I already say this? The season for surgeries. So
no, you didn't.
So Jessica had her surgery the day after Jamie Sunderland had her kidney transplant, and she received a kidney from Chrissy Percy. Chrissy is back home and doing well, and Jamie is recovering well as well. And I don't have any other updates on her other than she is recovering well. I'm sure she will be posting things when she's able on her All My Kidneys page. But let me just take a quick moment to, if you're not a kidney donor, it doesn't matter which organ. If you're not an organ donor, please consider to do so, because you are saving lives, and after you pass, you don't need them anymore.
Mm-hmm.
And you would save so many lives. And also, so Jamie's cause of her kidney failure was polycystic kidney disease, which probably needs a little bit more attention and awareness brought to that. But those are the surgical updates.
Yay. Good luck to everybody. Quick recovery.
Yes. And then now we have a few things we need to talk about from last week. Jessica wrote out the description for our episode, and you may have found the wording strange, but not really paid very much attention to it. But she used a few keywords that are, I don't want to say trigger words because it's not really, but just
pet peeves.
Like, I don't like the word. Yes, pet peeve words. I don't like the word nowadays. If you use it, I have no grudges against you. I just don't like it. It really bothers me. So that's why she included nowadays. Jessica, you hate the word
folks.
And why?
It's because so many trainings that I've had, like the presenters always start, all right, folks, so here we go. And I don't know. I don't know why that word drives me crazy, but it does.
And then our mom hates it is what it is, which I'm not a fan of that either. But Jessica threw those in as a joke, and then she sent the real description, and I said, no, we're going to use this original one. But anyway, it was a little humorous to us. You might have just thought it was weird or just didn't even pay attention. Or you maybe don't even read the show notes.
I don't think I ever read the show notes when I listen to a podcast.
I don't either because it just plays. And I do if there is a reference to the show notes. Like, go look at the show notes for this. One other thing I want to say is when we started our episode last week, you said, welcome to the podcast of inspirational quotes. And we laughed about that for a little bit. Yes. But we never actually introduced ourselves or said the real name of our podcast.
Oh, we didn't? Oops.
So, nope. So I'm Ingrid.
I'm Jessica.
And this is not an inspirational quotes podcast.
It's another situation podcast.
It is.
There's also a correction from our mother.
Yes. And it's to you. So go ahead.
When we were talking about the New Year's traditions about children jumping to get taller, and Ingrid said, what do Filipinos like to do? And I said, squat. My mom said that she prefers to say that they love to eat, drink, or they love to eat, they love to sing, and they love music, I think is other stuff she told me.
To dance. Dance. Dancing, eating, and singing.
Yeah, squatting is not in the top 5.
Speaking of karaoke, Mom was telling me about how when they've gone to the Philippines, they'll sing karaoke. Not her. She and Craig, that's our stepdad, will try to go to sleep. And everyone's singing karaoke well past midnight. And they've made comment like, oh my gosh, I can't believe they're going so late. And I started laughing. I said, well, once upon a time, Jessica and I lived together. And my bedroom was right off the living room, and Jessica would sing karaoke well past midnight when I'm asleep. And I would be in bed, and I would hear things like, this song goes out to my sister, and then she would sing a song, or I'm going to dedicate this song to Kennedy, which was my little Yorkie at the time.
I remember when we were at the Philippines, like when they had a karaoke machine rented for Tita's birthday party, they started singing super early in the morning too. Like it wasn't just late at night. Like I woke up to hearing our relatives singing. But I think those are the only corrections I have for the moment. Do you have any?
No, I didn't really say much last time. Oh, yes, I did. I did most of the talking.
Yeah, you did.
No, I'm perfect. I did everything well. Well, without further ado, why don't you take it away and let us know what that quote was and how it's tying into today's episode and what we're doing.
Okay, so that quote was from Damar Hamlin, who is a cornerback for the Buffalo Bills. So one of the things that we're doing today is people that have overcome challenges to become successful in their lives. And he is actually one of them. You may be familiar with what happened to him over on Monday Night Football. he got hit in the chest, and it was timed perfectly. What was it called? Cortico. I can't remember the name of the actual thing, but it made his heart stop. He went to cardiac arrest. He had CPR on the field for about 10 minutes, and they also did CPR again. And it turns out the athletic trainer is the one that started the CPR and probably saved his life and his brain function and a lot of stuff. So I thought I would give a little nod out to him because I remember watching that game, and I thought it was amazing how the commentators are like, it's not about football anymore. It's about this young man. He is 24 years old. He's super young. And it was just a fluke hit. And you could see the concern on all the players' faces. A lot of them were crying. It's just football is supposed to be a game. It's not supposed to be life and death. But that day it was life and death. So I wanted to give homage, not sure if that's the right word, to Mr. Hamlin, and kind of give you a little overview about the things that he's overcome and how he became where he was.
Okay. Before you get started, I do want to say, so T. Higgins was the guy that Damar had tackled. And while most people are supporting him and telling him he has done nothing wrong, I did see a few things like on Twitter and things in other social media platforms saying that, well, the way he turned his body when Hamlin tackled him is what caused it, and almost kind of putting the blame on him. And now these are not from reliable sources, but I've read that he has not left Hamlin's side, and he has remained, heartbroken about this. So we also need to think about him. This is not his fault. This was truly a fluke thing that you have to be hit at the right this is
millisecond almost.
Well, yes, timing. I had that. This is why we should not record in the morning. My brain's not working yet. Right. At the right amount of force, that's the word. That's the big word I couldn't think of. The right force at the right millisecond. And actually, you want to say wrong, at the wrong millisecond to cause what happened. So it has nothing to do with T. Higgins or the way he played or the way he did anything. So let's just remember to also think of him when we're thinking of Damar.
Yes. And it was a very routine hit and play. There was nothing about that play that was abnormal. I don't know if anyone else watched it, but so Damar Hamlin stood up, got a little dizzy, and then fell backwards. And so that's how he was able to stand up initially, but that's how they knew something was wrong when he fell backwards. So this is about Damar Hamlin. So he was born March 24th, 1998 in McKees Rocks, Pennsylvania. He was born to his mom and his dad, and it was kind of a rough start. Like his mom worked, they had a daycare, and they also had a cleaning business. And so it still wasn't pulling enough money. So Damar's dad actually had to turn to selling drugs for a while, and he got caught and he went to jail. While he was in jail, Damar helped his mom with daycare and with the cleaning business. They were cleaning offices. And he said that he gave credit to his mom for the work ethic that he has, because it taught him, like, he didn't get the chance to be a kid. He didn't get the chance to, do a bunch of other stuff because he was too busy helping his family. And his parents wanted him to have a better life. So actually, when he was in high school, they sent him to a Catholic school where he got, I think, like Defensive Player of the Year. He got all these accolades. He was amazing. And he was not drafted. Whoops. He got a bunch of scholarships offered to him, but he ended up going to the University of Pittsburgh University. Pitt. He went to Pitt. While he was there, he, of course, did really well, too. Another thing that happened to him when he was growing up is that because of the neighborhood he lived in, several of his friends were actually shot. So it was a rough neighborhood. He did not have a silver spoon in his mouth. He had to work really hard. His parents worked really hard to help get him where he needed to be. And it helped him. And then when he first got picked up in the NFL, he had to wait until it was official, but then he started a GoFundMe to raise money for the daycare and to get toys and stuff for his mom's daycare. It didn't I mean, he did have donations coming in, but ever since his accident, I think it's the amount of donations to the GoFundMe is like $6.8 million now. Like there's so much money for him and for the daycare. Yes. And for his parents, like people just poured stuff out and, to try to help him out and do anything, any way they can for him. So going back to the accident that he had, so he was intubated and he was, I don't know if it was an induced coma or what, but he was, laying upside down or on his belly to help. I'm not going to talk about the medical stuff. I don't know that very well. Anyways, so as of yesterday, he has actually woken up. He's still unable to speak because he's still intubated. But one of the things that I thought was absolutely amazing is his first question was, and this isn't verbatim, it's kind of what it was, like, who won the game? that was his first question. And I was like, oh my gosh, like this guy died. Did you? It's crazy. He literally died on the field. And his first thing to think of was his team. Like this young man is just an amazing example of, I don't know, just a good, hardworking person that is dedicated to something. And he went above and beyond. And it's kind of, I'm not going to say it was lucky, but he was Micah Hyde, who used to play for the Green Bay Packers. He was injured, a neck injury, I believe, at the beginning of the year. And so Hamlin was taking over for him. And so that's how he was able to get that starting position. And there was a game, I think, against the Lions. He played the most hikes. He played the most plays. He played the most plays throughout that whole entire game. It was like 60 some. And he's a very successful football player. I don't really have that much more to dig into him because that's about all the info I could find. And I got it from, of course, Wikipedia. There's a Democrat Chronicle, ESPN, Yahoo Sports. This is where I got all the information from. And one thing that I thought was kind of crazy too is that the NFL, I saw this morning, has decided to cancel the game between the Bengals and the Bills. So when it comes to the playoffs, there's a whole bunch of stipulations that they're going to do to see if, just to make sure that the Bengals and the Bills have their fair shot in case they, whoever would have won that game, they would have been at a higher seed or, so the NFL is taking that into play. But I actually thought it was pretty cool that they canceled the game and that they canceled it that night too.
I agree. I think it would have been very poor taste if they would have continued, to be honest.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Like I can't imagine. I mean, you're playing a game, you're literally playing a game, and then you see a player go down and you see CPR administered onto him. And this is someone that these guys have played with. I mean, I can't imagine the bonding in a locker room. I know what it was like when I played sports and like those are your sisters that you're playing with, not like you sister, but like you care a lot about them and you want them to be healthy and you want them to be well. And seeing that happen to someone else kind of makes it real. Like, oh, that could happen to me. And like, oh, that's terrible that happened to him. Another ESPN commentator that I obviously I saw this on social media, people were posting about it, but I can't remember the commentator's name, but he was talking about this incident and he's like, I don't know if I should do this on live TV. He's like, but it just feels right. So I'm going to do it. And so he prayed for Damar Hamlin. And I was like, you know what? That's amazing. Like, even if whether he was Christian, Jewish, Muslim, like if you want to pray on air for somebody, I support that 100%. I thought it was amazing that he had that he did it.
Well, I like that it took I'm sending you thoughts and prayers, which we say quite a bit on our podcast, good vibes and prayers. Sorry for my dancing doodles behind me, if you can hear that. But what I liked is I like that he actually did it.
Yeah, I thought that was pretty cool too. So hopefully Damar Hamlin has a quick recovery and is able to do whatever he's capable of doing. And if he wants to go back to football, go back to football and just keep being an all around amazing person. One thing that I did like is people were saying like how he brought everyone together and like made it. I don't know if he brought the nation together because I don't think everyone watches football, but I think he brought a lot of people together and helped them realize like what's actually really important in life. So that's all the info I had on him. Like I said, there's really not much, but he's a good kid. And I say kid because he's only 24 and I'm old enough to be his mom, but he's a good kid and like great work ethic that his parents instilled with him. Like he had so many opportunities to make a different choice and go down a different path. But because of what his parents instilled in him and like just probably his own self-determination, he was able to reach his goals and meet his goals. And then now hopefully that same determination can help him get out of, not get out of, but help him to recover as quickly as possible. One other thing I did want to add about Damar is that he was able to get his bachelor's in communication from the University of Pittsburgh. So hopefully he can rely on that. If he's unable to play football anymore, at least he's got a bachelor's degree under his belt.
That's a good degree too, especially as a football player. That makes sense.
Yeah, it does, right? He could be a commentator. He could be a sportscaster. A lot of those options. The next person that I wanted to talk about is that was able to bring themselves up out of their spot that they were born into, I guess, is the one, the only, the Queen of Scat, Ella Fitzgerald. And unfortunately, the webpage, there's a webpage called ellafitzgerald.com, and it had a whole bunch of her quotes on there, but now the webpage is not working, so I can't let you all know. There is really cool. Just go to ellafitzgerald.com and you can see there's a shop there. There's a bunch of quotes. There's her biographies on there too. It's just it's a cool thing. So I said she's the Queen of Scat. Do you know what scat is, dear sister?
Isn't that like the doo-ba-doo-doo-doo, that kind of stuff?
Uh-huh. Yes, that's exactly what it is. So she was considered the queen, one of the greatest scat singers in jazz history. So Ella Fitzgerald, she was born April 25th. Oh, and I got this from womenshistory.org, Wikipedia, ellafitzgerald.com, and I think there's one other website. Anyway, so she was born on April 25th, 1917 in Newport News, Virginia, to her mother, Temperance. They also called her Tempe, Henry, and her father was William Fitzgerald. So her parents actually weren't married. They cohabitated. And I don't know why this was mentioned, but they were both on they're both documented as being mulatto. A few years after she was born, her parents separated and her mother moved up to New York with her new partner. And her new partner's name was Joseph Da Silva. Ella had a half sister who was born in 1923. So she was about 6 years younger. And the two sisters remained very close throughout Fitzgerald's life. While she was growing up in New York, she was an amazing student. Everyone liked her. She played sports. She played games. She loved to dance and sing. And then her primary exposure to music was through attending services at the Bethany African Methodist Episcopal, what? Church. We'll say church. And by listening to jazz records that her mother brought home. Episcopal. Oh my gosh. It is way too early in the morning. Okay. Then something really tragic happened. In 1932, Ella's mother died from injuries from a car accident. So after this happened, she stayed living with her stepfather for about a year, but there was some troubles between them. Nothing was ever said, or it's only speculated on why she didn't want to stay there. So after a year, she went to go live with her aunt in Harlem. And then shortly after, her stepdad died of a heart attack. And so then her little sister moved in with her aunt and Ella. Ella's grades started getting worse. She started getting into trouble. She was trying to make money as well. So she began running lottery tickets for the mafia. And so her aunt wanted to, not her aunt, the authorities, when she kept getting into trouble, they sent her to a reform school in Hudson, New York. And there it was horrible. So she was beaten by the caretakers and it was just terrible treatment. She escaped from the reform school and ended up being all on her own during the Great Depression. So she first began singing and performing on the streets of Harlem.
Can I ask, so when you say all on your own, like homeless?
Yes, homeless. So she was trying to make ends meet. She was singing on the streets. And then in November 1934, she was 17 and she debuted for the first time at amateur night at the Apollo Theater. So her plan was that she was going to go up there and dance, but there was two sisters, I can't remember the sisters' names, who were amazing dancers and they danced before her. So she's like, I can't go up on there and dance. And so she decided to sing instead. And when she got up there, she had a little bit of stage fright because she was a really shy person. And so she started singing the Boswell sisters. Those are one of the records her mom used to play. So she sang two Boswell sisters songs. One of them was Judy, and I don't have what the other one was. So she felt very comfortable, and she actually won the amateur night. So she was supposed to be able to play at the Apollo for a week, and get paid for it. But I can't remember if it was like the president, the producer, someone said that she looked so disheveled and unkempt that they didn't give her the week. Yeah, isn't that messed up? Okay, wait, sorry. Her appearance was untidy. She was not given the opportunity. So that's just kind of messed up. But it did not stop her. So the next year, she won the chance to perform with the Tiny Bradshaw Band at the Harlem Opera House, and she met Chick Webb. So Chick Webb was a big supporter of her. He helped her get a record going and just offered her all the opportunities. So he had a band, and when the lead singer of that band died, Ella Fitzgerald took over. And one of her most favorite songs, when she was 21, she recorded one of the hits that made her the most famous, which was "A Tisket, a Tasket." So you should go look for that song. And it remained on the pop charts for 17 weeks. Isn't that amazing? After Chick Webb died in 1939, the band was renamed Ella and Her Famous Orchestra. And so she recorded over 150 songs between 1935 and 1942. They began getting some financial struggles. And so she ended up marrying Benny Cornegie. He was a local dock worker, but she found out that he had a criminal history. So a year later, she actually annulled their marriage because she didn't want to be associated with him.
That's why you do background checks on anybody you date before you start dating them.
Back then, I don't know if they had them. So the 1940s came, and it was called the bebop style of jazz. And so she adopted it, and she was amazing at it, hence the scat singing. While she was on tour, again, she fell in love with a bassist, Ray Brown, and they married and they adopted a son. I think it was her nephew, and they adopted the boy and they named him Ray Brown Jr. But because they were both in the music business and they were traveling so much, like they weren't able to, it was hard on their marriage, and it was also hard for their child. And so their marriage didn't work out. And then Ella actually took some time off to reform that bond with the son that they had adopted. So she's appeared on tons of shows, the Bing Crosby Show, the Frank Sinatra Show, the Ed Sullivan Show. She's just been, she was very, very popular. One of the hard things, another hardship that she went through is she was about to get on a plane, and they kicked her off the plane because she was Black. Like, they had first class seats. They loaded up all of her luggage and I think her other band members. And then they ended up getting kicked off. They were not even allowed to go get their luggage because they were Black. It's ridiculous. Another thing, when the band was touring in Dallas, Texas, the police came into Fitzgerald's dressing room and arrested her. I have no idea why they did. I don't know, because she was Black. I have no idea. It doesn't say. There was another opportunity for her to play at this club called Macaro. I can't remember what the name of it is, and I can't pronounce it. And the publicist or whoever it was like, no, we don't really want Ella Fitzgerald to, have a nightly show or whatever. So Marilyn Monroe got involved and said, I will sit in the front seat or like the front table if you have Ella play. And so the promoter was like, okay, yes, Marilyn Monroe, please come sit in my club. And so she did. For 3 nights in a row, she sat and she listened to Ella sing right in the front row. So those two were actually pretty good friends. I thought that was, I had no idea about that part of it. So she became an international star. Isn't it though? It's like, yay, female, loving female. That's just awesome. So she's performed with Frank Sinatra, received a bunch of other awards. She received the National Medal of Arts by Ronald Reagan in 1987. She had honorary doctorates from Yale, Dartmouth, and a couple other universities. So she had a heart surgery in 1986, and she was diagnosed with diabetes after that. So she continued to try to perform. Her last performance was at Carnegie Hall in New York in 1991. And then sadly, her diabetes it just got so bad, she had to have both of her legs amputated below the knees. So shortly after that, she stopped singing, stopped touring, and she just kind of stayed at home with her family and enjoyed her family time. She had earned 14 Grammy Awards and, like I said, the Presidential Medal of Freedom. But then on June 15th, 1996, Ella Fitzgerald passed away in her home. So that is just, there's pictures of her. There's a picture of her that I want to include on there because it's just so amazing. She's just so amazing. I can't imagine being, one, a female singer back then and trying to break into the world of music, but two, being a Black female singer and breaking through. And she's just, I have downloaded all of her albums because her voice is just so beautiful. I could listen to it all day long. It's just so beautiful. So she's another person that came, lots of hardship growing up. Again, she could have went the wrong way. Absolutely. Because she ran away from her reform school, was living on her own on the street. She could have made so many other decisions than the one she made that would have led her down a path that would have been tragic, and we would not have known her name. So it's just really cool that some people can dig themselves out of the trench. I know that's just corny. I'm not going to say that.
Difficult situations.
Yeah, yes, exactly. And they have the resilience to move forward and reach the goals that they want. But what I always thought was crazy, she always wanted to be a dancer more than a singer. So luckily those sisters were so good at dance that she actually had to sing. Because if she would have danced, again, I don't know if we would have known who Ella Fitzgerald is.
Well done. That's so awesome. I love Ella.
I do too. I'm sure I could do a deeper dive into all of that, but that's the gist. I couldn't believe she ran numbers for the mafia. That is so crazy. So crazy. Okay, so here are some of Ella's quotes. It isn't where you came from, it's where you're going that counts. Just don't give up trying to do what you really want to do. Where there is love and inspiration, I don't think you can go wrong. That one's my favorite, actually, of hers. The only thing better than singing is more singing. I have been rich, I have been poor. Believe me, baby, rich is better. It isn't where you came from, it's where you're going that counts. You take romance, I'll take Jello.
Oh my gosh.
That sounds like one for you.
That is so my motto.
Into each life, some rain must fall. And again, where there is love and inspiration, I don't think you can go wrong. And I totally believe that. If you're coming from a place of goodness in your heart, if you're coming from a place of love, I don't think you can ever go wrong.
Yes. That singing quote, the only thing better than singing is more singing, reminded me when we went to go look at Christmas lights over Christmas, the kids and I, and this place we went to is extremely popular in our area. So we drove there, got there, and we had to wait in a car line for 45 minutes before we could get into the subdivision to look. And so, my kid, we just had music on, and one of my sons was getting antsy, and he's like, this is ridiculous or whatever. And so it's but we're listening to music and this is so happy. And my daughter asked me to roll down the windows, and that was when it was cold. It was probably, we're in Tennessee, but 30 degrees is cold. And it may have even been lower. Anyway, it was cold. And so I asked her, and I said, why do you want to roll down your window? And she said, because the best way to spread Christmas cheer is singing loud for all to hear. And so I rolled down her window.
Is that from the Grinch?
No, Jessica, we did this episode, on the Christmas episode. I asked you that quote, and you also said the Grinch then. It's from Elf. And so,
oh yeah, that's right.
Yes. So I rolled down her window, and she started singing all these Christmas carols, all the wrong words, mixing songs up together. But it was the cutest thing.
That's adorable.
Yes. Well done. Those are good. Those are good. Those are some goodness, English, grammar. Let's do it again. Those were some good, difficult situations turned around.
They were. And I think it's great that they both were able to make it on their own through just almost sheer determination.
And not just scoot by, not just scat by, They made it big.
Dun dun. They excelled, yes. And seriously, like, I mean, how many people in that situation don't, because they made the hard choices to work hard and to do the extra above and beyond. Like, I think, I don't know if I would. I'd probably be like, yeah, well, this is my life. I guess I accept it. So,
yeah.
To all those people out there that have dreams, follow your dreams.
Follow your dreams. Did you say childless?
I did not.
Ooh, did you?
I said follow your dreams.
But what people out there did you say?
All people?
Oh, I thought you said child.
I did not say childless. No, everyone. I don't know what I just said, actually, but I know it wasn't childless. Jeez Louise.
Sorry, we have a little bit of a delay in our video, so sometimes Jessica glitches out a little bit and I glitch out.
Beep, beep.
And so it sounded like you said childless people go out and whatever.
Everyone else with kids, sorry.
You're stuck where you are.
Yep. Good luck. Best of luck to you.
Okay. Well, so I think we're going to continue on this theme of difficult situations turned around and have another one coming up. And actually, this was kind of fun. Maybe we'll do this frequently.
Okay.
This is part of like the New Year, New You. What?
New Year, New Another Situation podcast.
Yeah. Okay. So bees. Let's do bees. Do you want to go first or do you want me to go first?
You can go first.
Well, you can because I wrote some down.
Oh, you did? You always write them down. Be resilient.
Okay. Be scatty. It's not a real word, but I thought it was funny. I like it.
Be hopeful for the future.
Okay. I had be relentless, but that's too close to being resilient. So I'm going to say be like Marilyn.
Ah, support other females. I like it.
Okay. Well, thank you for listening. Once again, I'm Ingrid.
And I'm Jessica. Check us out again. We'll be back next week.
And the week after. And the week after, unless we mess up.
Never ending.
You're stuck with us. And to be stuck with us more permanently, make sure you subscribe to Another Situation on your favorite platform.
Yes.
And tell your friends about us because we're all friends now.
Us and everybody listening?
Yes.
What do you mean we're all friends?
We're all friends.
Okay.
Yes. And then everyone's going to share us with their friends because we're all friends.
I did want to say this. So sometimes I listen to our podcast afterwards. Sometimes I don't. But so I was laying there in the pre-op waiting and I had my headphones and my phone and I was sitting there all by myself. So I put in mine and Ingrid, the podcast, the New Year's Eve podcast, and I listened to it and I texted Ingrid. I was like, it's like you're right here with me. So that was, it was really nice. I really needed a comfort and yeah, it was nice hearing your voice.
Aw, so when you guys go into surgery or any kind of anesthesia or sedation, bring us with you. And when you're driving along, listening, look in your back seat. We're right there.
Yep, like two little creepers hanging out.
Maybe don't listen to us when you're in the shower because that's just weird. We're not voyeurs.
No. Well.
Okay, now we're getting weird. We'll see you next week. Bye.
Yes, bye. If you'd like to reach out to us or submit your situation, please contact us at anothersituationpodcast@gmail.com or find us on Instagram at Another Situation Podcast. We're also on Facebook at Another Situation.
Another Situation is produced and edited by Point 5 Pinoy. Music is written and performed by Tim Crow.